Well, good evening, Clyde Cleveland. How are you doing?
Fantastic. How about
Good.
you?
Well, I'm
Good,
doing really well too. It's a pleasure
good.
to see you again. This
Yeah.
time you're in Oregon, not in Florida. I
Yes.
wondered if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what takes you to Oregon so far from home.
Well, we had a stopover. I've been working on just trying to educate people about what's going on in our country with the pandemic and the response to the pandemic and how it's affecting us and affecting our lives and our prosperity and our health and everything. So I've been very active since this thing came out on getting information out to people, which I felt was truthful. And so I've been doing that all the way since this first started in like February and March, and I've really been on it, really been studying it. And so I started working with a group of people, and a lot of them were from out here in Oregon and Washington. And it resulted in an event that we put on. We were on this Zoom meeting about, I think it was August 2nd or 3rd, with a friend of mine, Sheriff Richard Mack, who's responsible for, he won a Supreme Court against the federal government in the United States, a very, very significant case. And we became friends in like 2009. And then I helped him put together the very first this, constitutional sheriff convention in 2012, and it was a great event. We had 113 people there. It's wonderful. So that's how I got to know Richard. So that was 2012. So fast forward to 2020, and we're about August 1st or 2nd. We're on a Zoom call. I see Richard for the first time in years, and there's a group of organizers that are, in the same path that I'm on and in the same mind. And we said, we need to do an event. And there was this group in Washington, business people, many business people, business owners in Washington who were standing up to the governor and said they were going to keep their businesses open. And they had a sheriff there that was defending them and their right to stay open and telling the governor that he wasn't going to shut those businesses down. So we said, okay, we should have an event there. So we did. It's Snohomish, Washington. The pastor opened up his church there. 150 people came. We had great speakers, and we put that together in 10 days, the whole thing. And it was amazing. And
It was
it was
amazing. It was so impressive.
very successful event. And, anybody that's listening, if they'd like to have the videos there, it's on BitChute, and it's the Snohomish, Washington Sheriff's Convention, I think we called it. So anyway, it was great. So anyway, fast forward a little bit further, and we're just, literally a week ago, we were in Las Vegas and actually Pahrump, Nevada, at Front Sight shooting range with some people. And we were meeting with people there. We also met with the sheriff there in Nye County, and she was fantastic. She's what we call a constitutional sheriff. We met with her, and we met with some other people. And then we started to drive up to Oregon, just me and another associate that is from this group in Oregon. And as we were coming up, we got a call from here in Oregon from a fellow by the name of Christo, which is kind of one of the main people in our group. And he said, Clyde, we've got this call from the sheriff, or about the sheriff and the pastor in Yuba City, California. And you're only about an hour and a half away from Yuba City. So we want you to stop there, because what happened is this pastor was going to keep his church open because he felt if the governor wasn't doing anything about thousands of people marching in the streets without masks and without social distancing, he just must not care anymore about, whether people congregate. So he decided to open up his church. Okay. Yes. Okay. So anyway, this pastor wanted to open his church, and he did. And the governor said, no, you're going to have to shut down. So the pastor talked to the Sheriff Brendan Barnes, and Sheriff Brendan Barnes called the governor and said, he's opening. There's no problem. and he was just not going to allow the governor to enforce his order for the pastor to
Wow.
shut down. And the sheriff is the supreme law officer in this county. The governor has no right. He trumps the state police. He trumps the local police. He trumps federal police. That's what the Supreme Court decision that Sheriff Mack was involved with was all about.
Now, Clyde, that's true in every state all across the country of the United States.
It's true in every county in America. It's true in every county in America. So if the governor says that people have to close their businesses and the sheriff says, I'm not going to enforce that, there's nothing the governor can do about it.
And people need to understand that what the governor's edict is just a PR statement. It's a warning, but it holds no authority other than persuasion. Correct?
It holds no authority under the law whatsoever. First of all, it's not legislation. He's just creating an edict. No law has been passed. He doesn't have the right to do that.
And only the state legislator can pass a law.
That's correct.
A governor does not have the power to enforce law.
No, it's just an edict. It means nothing unless people go along with it. And, it's up to the people whether they decide they want to go along with it or not. But if they don't want to, they don't have to.
So when businesses and churches and individuals comply with the governor's edict, they're doing it on their own fruition, and there's actually no law behind it or any fines that could be enforced.
Well, it really goes to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We have certain rights under the Bill of Rights, and we have the freedom to gather. We have the freedom of speech. We have freedom of movement. We have freedom to congregate. All those, and we have freedom to worship. So the governor can't stop people from doing those things.
So, Clyde, what is it that has made it so oppressive in all these states? Do people just not understand the difference between an edict and a law and the work of their state legislature? Or what is going on here?
Well, people have been so dumbed down, they have no idea what their rights are. Most people don't even know what the Bill of Rights are. So it's not taught in our schools. So people are just ignorant of what their rights are. So that's what we're doing. We're waking it up. Our event in Snohomish did that. If people would go and watch those videos, they would learn so much about the law. So what we have at these events, like this last one in Snohomish, is constitutional lawyers. We have constitutional sheriffs who know what their duties are and what their authority is and what they can do. We have pastors. We have activists. We had quite a few medical activists at that last event. Doctors, triple board certified doctor, Dr. Tenpenny, talking about the vaccine and talking about the masks and how dangerous it is for people to wear masks all day. All these things are coming out now, but we're just being lied to. And the media is so complicit. They'll say whatever their masters tell them to do. Pharmaceutical industry pretty much owns the media, pretty much own the Democratic Party and most of the Republican Party, but not as much as the Democratic Party. So, that's what's happened. So anyway, let me tell you finish my story. We're driving up and we get this call that, we're an hour and a half away from Yuba City. See if there's some possibility to meet with the sheriff and meet with the pastor and check out the church. Maybe that could be our next event. So we drive in, we make the phone calls, we set up a meeting on the phone with the church, we set up a meeting with the sheriff. We couldn't get a hold of the pastor at that point. We ride into town, we go right to the church. We go into the church, they're so happy to see us. We tell them who we are and what we did in Snohomish. Yes, here, let's see, we'll show you the different rooms. We look at the rooms. And there's all these people in there that are happy and they don't have masks on. And it was like so wonderful to see people enjoying, Americans free and not with these stupid masks on. So anyway, we had a great time there. She said, yes, this room will work. It holds 300 people. And we have the technical person for the live streaming and all that's available. So we said, great. Okay, we're going to go see the sheriff now. We went over to the sheriff, and this guy's, come on in. And he was just the most wonderful, loving man. And he was, and he had really saved that pastor, because he told the governor that he was not going to enforce the lockdown
He's
in
a
his
hero.
county. He's a hero, and
He is a hero.
really sharp. He's very courageous, and he knows what his authority is as sheriff. And so we told him what did in Washington. He said, I will do, you send me a flyer and I'll get it out to everybody in this county. I have a Facebook page that everybody goes to. So just send me the flyer and we'll have everybody there. We're going to have hundreds of people there.
Fantastic.
And so that was good. So then we get on the road. We go, wow, we got this almost done. We just haven't talked to the pastor. The phone rings in the car. We get the pastor on. He's just amazing. He's so happy. He wants us to, he's going to do everything he can to help us with the event. In fact, he's going to be the master of ceremonies of the event.
Fantastic. Who's on the lineup?
So here's the lineup. Okay, I'm going to save the best for last here, but we have 4 sheriffs. Sharon Worley from Las Vegas, the one that we had met with the day before we set this meeting up. Sheriff Richard Mack will be live videoing in, the one who won the Supreme Court case and the head of the CSPOA. Sheriff Mark Lamb from Arizona, he's fantastic constitutional sheriff. Sheriff Bob Songer from Washington, state of Washington, is going to be calling in. Sheriff Jerry Hatcher will be in. So 5 sheriffs. Pastor Dave Bryan, that's the pastor there in Yuba City. Activist Peggy Hall. Peggy Hall is amazing.
She's terrific.
Yeah, she is terrific. She will tell people that may not want, that decide they don't want to wear a mask when they go shopping, exactly how to go into a store and with the copy of the Civil Rights Act and explain that if you don't let me shop here without a mask, you're violating my civil rights. And it works every time. Activist Renette Simone, Dr. Sheri Tenpenny, the same doctor that was at the first one, and will be there, and she is tremendous, triple board certified, been a doctor for 37 years, very successful. She'll talk about the vaccine and the danger of taking a vaccine that's put together in just a few months. It's unheard of and it's dangerous, and she'll go through that in great detail. Constitutionalist Jack and Margie Flynn, they're amazing. I've just gotten to know them, but they really are brilliant people. Activist John Moselage is going to talk about, John's going to talk about how the people in the county can support their sheriff.
Very
They form
important. Very
assembly,
important, because we can't just have the sheriff.
Yes, the sheriff needs to have the backing of the people in the community.
We are an integral part, the community and the sheriff.
Right. So John will be talking about that. Activist Lenka Coloma, she's another Peggy Hall. She's amazing, and she's former Czech Republic that she lived in. Her parents grew up under the fascist Germans. She grew up under the communists. And so she is so sick of seeing what's happening in this country. People that come from communist countries and come to this country, they appreciate what we have here more than we do, because we grew up here. And she's powerful. Constitutionalist Rick Martin. Rick is the head of the Constitutional Law Group. And he goes after the mayors and the city council, the county supervisors, the governors, and really knows what he's doing to fight back against keeping people locked down and not allowing people to go to work, not allowing people to open their businesses. So he's the key there. So now our key speaker, Dr. Simone Gold. Now she is an amazing woman. She started out her education by getting a law degree from Stanford University, the hardest law school to get into in our country. Then she switched to medicine, got her MD from the University of Chicago. been in emergency care for 27 years. She went to Washington, D.C. with a bunch of other what we call frontline doctors who are really know what they're doing and what this virus is really all about and how to treat it. And she talked with several other doctors about the hydroxychloroquine and how well it worked, and several other things that are going against the grain of what you're hearing in the media. And as a result, she was fired the next day for speaking out, speaking truth. She was on Tucker Carlson that night and letting people know that if they talk negatively about her, they were going to be meeting her attorney. She's now, they messed with the wrong person. She is on a mission now, and she'll be speaking for at least a half an hour. She's our keynote speaker. You do not want to miss this. This will be the first time.
Clyde, is this going to be live streamed?
It will be live streamed. And so the name of the church is Church of Glad Tidings. And their website is churchofgladtidings.com. And all you have to do is go to that website at 10 o'clock on Wednesday and hit
Pacific Standard Time,
and hit the Zoom. There's a meeting that says live stream, and you will be in. You'll be able to watch the whole thing.
And I will put that link down below on this interview. So Clyde, is there anything else that you'd like to say to wrap this up?
Well, yeah, what I'd like to do is anybody that wants to help promote this is maybe contact you, and you can send them the flyer on this. This is the flyer. This is I'm sorry, this is a carbon copy or a Xerox copy of it. But it's a beautiful flyer, and you get it on your, if everybody listening could get this and put it on your computer, and then just send it to as many people as you can, as quickly as you can, so we really get the word out. We're expecting to have somewhere between 300 and 500 people at the event live, tens of thousands watching it live stream, because this is a game changer, folks. I guarantee you, if you take Wednesday, if you have the time to watch some of these speakers, and hopefully all of them, you will learn so much about everything about coronavirus, masks, vaccines, the law, the authority of the sheriff, and how you can help support your sheriff so you can stop this crazy lockdown in your community and get people back to work and get our freedoms back. So anyway, that's pretty much the message. Please do what you can to get people at this event.
Thank you very much, Clyde, and we wish you the very best at the event, and God willing, we will prevail.
We will.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. God did not make us to be slaves. He made us to be free. Self-fulfilled, completely, fully enlightened and developed individuals, and not sheep.
And Thomas Jefferson said, every generation we must have a revolution because government becomes way too controlling. I think this is our time, folks.
It is.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.